Why the most dangerous people never raise their voice. There's a classified pattern among those who truly run things, and it's not what you think. While you're out there trying to be heard, they're perfecting the art of being unreadable. This isn't some motivational speech. This is operational psychology, the kind used by intelligence operatives, corporate predators, and the samurai who understood that the loudest warrior in the room is usually the first one to die. They know something you're about to learn. Silence isn't weakness, it's weaponized patience. And weaponized patience is how you become psychologically untouchable. Most people operate under a fatal assumption that power means being seen, being loud, being undeniable. That's precisely why they never get it. Real power is invisible until it's already won. It's the ability to sit across from someone who's trying to break you, manipulate you, read you, and give them absolutely nothing. The samurai called this Mushin, the state of no mind, a mental fortress so refined that no emotional attack, no psychological warfare, no strategic provocation can even touch you. You become a void. And voids can't be defeated because there's nothing to grab onto. This is what separates the players from the played. Think of it like the operational rules used by elite units. Never reveal your position until you've already secured the advantage. Every word you speak is intelligence you're handing over for free. Every emotional reaction is a map of your weaknesses. The true strategist? He's watching you spill everything while he reveals nothing. He's cataloging your triggers, your insecurities, your patterns. And when he moves, it's surgical. You never saw it coming because you were too busy talking. This isn't just psychology. This is combat-level emotional discipline. High performance starts when you realize that every interaction is an exchange of power, and most people are bleeding it without even knowing. This is Law 4. Always say less than necessary. The more you speak, the more ordinary you appear. The more you explain, the more vulnerable you become. Every figure who's ever held real power, from ancient strategists to modern-day titans, spoke sparingly and observed constantly. They turned silence into psychological leverage, because silence creates tension, and whoever controls the tension controls the room. You've seen it. Insecure people fill every gap with words. That's not friendliness. That's submission dressed up as likability. Meanwhile, the one who masters silence masters the dynamic. But here's the question nobody asks you. What if the ultimate control isn't over others, but over your desperate need to be understood by them? Because what's coming next reveals a layer darker than anything you've considered. A layer the samurai lived by, the Stoics practiced, and the modern elite deploy every single day without you ever noticing. What happens when you stop defending yourself? Here's something they don't tell you in business school. The most successful negotiations in history were won by the person who said the least. There's a documented case of a Silicon Valley executive who sat through an entire hostile board meeting without saying a single word. Just listened, observed, let everyone reveal their agendas, their alliances, their fears. And when he finally spoke 3 sentences, the entire room shifted. He didn't argue. He didn't defend. He simply stated reality. And reality, when delivered by someone who's been silent, hits like a freight train. Let's bring this into your daily life. You've been in situations where someone attacked your character, your work, your decisions. And what did you do? You defended. You explained. You justified. You tried to make them understand. And every word you said made you look weaker. Because defense is admission. The moment you feel the need to explain yourself to someone who's already decided what they think, you've lost. Now imagine the opposite. Someone comes at you, and you just absorb it. No reaction, no justification, just calm, terrifying silence. That person will spiral. They'll second-guess themselves. They'll wonder what you know that they don't. That's not passivity. That's strategic emotional dominance. The psychology here is vicious. The more you explain, the more ammunition you provide. Every justification is a confession. Every defense reveals where you're vulnerable. Professional manipulators, and yes, they exist at every level of society, from corporate offices to family dynamics, don't need to attack you directly. They just let you talk. And the more you talk, the more they learn exactly how to dismantle you without you ever realizing you're being taken apart. This is Law 3. Conceal your intentions. If people don't know what you want, they can't block you. If they can't read your next move, they can't counter it. This law is the favorite of CEOs, intelligence operatives, and power brokers. They never reveal the full picture. They give just enough to keep people engaged, but never enough for anyone to predict the next step. This isn't dishonesty, it's strategic self-preservation. Because in the real world, whoever shows their hand first loses every single time. What if the real power move is being completely incomprehensible to anyone who hasn't earned the right to understand you? Type untouchable in the comments if you've ever felt like you gave too much away. And if this is hitting different, hit that like button. Because what comes next is where everything shifts. How elite operators use emotional invisibility. Picture this: a Navy SEAL in hostile territory. Enemy combatants are probing, testing, trying to provoke a response. And he gives them nothing. Not because he's afraid, because he's disciplined beyond what most humans can comprehend. He knows that the first person to break composure is the first person to make a fatal mistake. This exact principle is being used right now by people you admire and people you've never heard of who are 10 steps ahead of everyone else. They've mastered something most will never grasp. Emotional reaction is tactical suicide. Let's go deeper. When you react impulsively to provocation, you're announcing, "You have leverage over me." When you justify yourself unprompted, you're broadcasting, "I need your validation." When you fill silence with nervous words, you're confessing, "I'm afraid of being irrelevant." And people sense this. Unconsciously, they categorize you as movable, as someone who can be pushed. And once you can be pushed, you can be controlled. Peak performance isn't about doing more. It's about wasting zero emotional energy on irrelevant noise. It's about ruthless conservation of attention and intention. The Stoics had a framework for this: amor fati, love of fate. Not in some romantic sense, but as radical acceptance of what cannot be changed. So all your force directs toward what can be. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't philosophizing. He was describing an operating system, a mental architecture that makes you emotionally impenetrable. And that, my friend, is exactly what the elite call apex mindset. Here's Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. When you're always available, always reactive, always present, you become background noise. But when you withdraw, when you become selective with your energy, with your words, with your presence, people notice. They wonder. They assign value to what's rare. This is why the most powerful figures are never the most visible. They appear strategically. They speak sparingly. And when they do, the world listens. What if the ultimate test of power is completely ignoring what everyone else thinks should destroy you? If you've made it this far and something clicked, type invisible in the comments. Like this video if it's showing you something you've never seen this way before, and subscribe, because what's coming is the final revelation, the hidden game, the elite play that you don't even see. I'm going to tell you something I probably shouldn't. There's a hidden pattern among the world's most powerful, from Zen masters to defense contractors to tech founders, and this pattern isn't in any course, any best-selling book, any viral podcast. It's this: they treat every human interaction as an intelligence operation. And in that operation, whoever speaks less knows more. Whoever asks more reveals less. Whoever listens to everything controls everything. This isn't theory. This is daily practice. Warren Buffett does this. Christine Lagarde does this. Hostage negotiators are trained in this. And you're hemorrhaging strategic position every time you open your mouth without necessity. Connecting every thread. Silence makes you unreadable. Unreadability makes you unpredictable. Unpredictability makes you uncontrollable. And the uncontrollable is, by definition, powerful. That's the complete transformation. You stop being reactive and become strategic. You stop seeking validation and start operating from pure intention. Every word you choose to say carries weight. Every silence you choose to hold creates impact. You transform into someone people cannot manipulate, because they simply cannot read you. And that is total psychological freedom. Now the final application. Every time you feel the urge to explain yourself, stop. Count to 10. Ask yourself, does this person deserve this information? Every time someone provokes you, breathe deep. Watch the emotional reaction rise and die inside you without needing to act on it. That's Mushin. That's applied stoicism. That's samurai discipline in modern life. Keywords: power, emotional control, strategy, manipulation, resistance, peak performance, unbreakable psychology. You're not learning tricks. You're rebuilding your psychological architecture from the ground up. And here's Law 1. Never outshine the master, but inverted. Never reveal that you are the master. Let others talk. Let others shine. Meanwhile, you accumulate power in silence. You map the terrain. You understand the dynamics. And when necessary, you act with devastating precision. Because true power never announces its arrival. It simply arrives. And when it does, it's already too late to respond. What if the elite's greatest secret is exactly this? They never tell you they're playing a completely different game than you. Type protocol in the comments if you understand the shift this video is offering. Like this video if it changed how you see power and emotional mastery. Subscribe to this channel if you want continued access to knowledge most will never have. And share this with that one person who needs to stop talking and start observing. Because there are even deeper layers to all of this. Layers only those who are ready can perceive.